Business Express 91 with Rotus. Good morning, Rotus.
Good morning, Ayo. We might do 1 hour today. I hope everybody's ready. We
I
might
think
we
we're
might do
ready.
1 hour. Yeah, because there's too much going on in the
So many
business world.
things to talk about.
Yes,
But
indeed.
Rotus is not going to be talking alone here in the studio. He has with him Titi Layo and Chinedu from Afro Invest. Good morning, guys.
Good
Good morning.
morning.
All right, great to have you. Now, if you'd like to join the conversation real quick, this is how you can join. On WhatsApp, send us a message on 0809 4440981. On Twitter, we're at Smooth981FM. Use the hashtag Business Express 981, and we are also streaming live on YouTube. So please subscribe to our YouTube page, Smooth 98.1 FM.
All right, thank you so much. Very quickly, the market was up yesterday, 0.08%, 27,586 points. Market cap is at 13.4 trillion naira. My apologies to Yomi, who reached out to me on Instagram since I think Monday or last week, asking what to do with a 1 million naira, where to invest it, what stocks or assets to pick, and so on and so forth. But there's been so much going on that I haven't been able to get to. So please, we have to answer Yomi's question because we answer to our listeners on this show. So Titilayo, what can Yomi do with his 1 million naira? Well, I give him some advice.
Okay. For a millionaire, I mean that's quite a lot.
It is, yeah.
Not so bad.
It's not bad at all.
So aside stocks, there are other investments that he can venture into, depending on his investment objective, really, and I mean his age and all of that. So, I know if he's interested in stocks, I know he asked for an advice on what to look out for investment in stocks. I would say contact a broker, but if you're willing to conduct some research as an investor, I mean you have to look at the fundamentals of the company. So, their earnings reports, you have to critically look at that, as well as I mean some key ratios. So price to book ratio, debt to equity ratio, price to earnings ratio. And if you're very keen on receiving dividends, you also have to look at like the historical dividend payout ratios of the company as well. But currently, for the Nigerian space, equities market space, I think the sectors to look out for, I would say the banking sector is key, because most of the stocks they are currently undervalued at the moment because of the bearish sentiments that we've witnessed in that space. For the industrial sector as well, we've seen the likes of Dangote Cement trading at, it closed at about 160 naira yesterday. That's also a good one. But a key thing to note is that for the equities market space at the moment, if you are looking to play in that space, you have to be like a long-term investor. You have to be really patient, because I mean we've been seeing a lot of sell-offs in that space.
Right.
So for other investment opportunities, he can look into treasury bills as well. That's like investing directly with the federal government of Nigeria. Is tax-free. So that's like a fixed income investment. And for FGN savings bond as well, he can look into that. So yeah, he can diversify his portfolio. It doesn't just have to be equities. He can invest in treasury bills, some part in treasury bills, some part in FGN savings bond, and then some in equities as well.
Fantastic. So please, any questions you guys have, and of course, as Tilayo started off, do reach out to a broker. If you don't want to go to all the ratio research and fundamentals and financials, studying, which is fun for the nerds like us. We enjoy this stuff, but you can reach out to a broker like Afro Invest in order to get this done. Okay, so now let's move into GDP. I know people want to talk about the South African thing. I know that's what people want to talk about. Sorry, but I mean, this was important news. Nigeria's second quarter GDP figures were released yesterday, but it got forgotten in everything that was going on. Titilayo, how did the country's economy grow in the second quarter of the year?
Okay, so for the second quarter, that's April through June, we saw that GDP growth moderated to 1.9% year on year from the growth we saw, the 2.1% growth we witnessed in the first quarter of the year. And of course, this is majorly based on like two key sectors, so the oil sector and the non-oil sector.
Okay.
So for the oil sector, we recorded there was a growth, of course. In the sector, we saw that
I think it was 5%.
Yeah, it was
so.
about 5%.
Yeah.
We saw increased production levels due to basically the engineer oil field that kicked off this year. Production levels also increased. But for the non-oil sector, some sectors did not perform so well.
Yeah.
Agri sector, for instance, declined from 3.2% in the first quarter to about 1.8% in the second quarter.
Yeah.
We saw disruptions in that space, in farming activities in April and May particularly. Also for the manufacturing sector as well, it was down by 0.1%. We saw slowdown in cement, food and textile production. However, for services was performance was a bit impressive. It was about 2.9%, although it slowed down from 3.1% in the first quarter as well. But I mean, we saw improved activities in the telecommunications space. Yeah, so basically what really buoyed performance for the second quarter were the sectors were basically the oil sector, as well as the services sector and the agricultural sector, although it slowed down quarter on quarter.
And the key thing for me here is that doing 1%. So we've been slowing down from the fourth quarter of last year. So I think it was 2.3% or so Q4 2018, and then 2% Q1 of this year. Now 1.9. So we've been trending downwards. But even though the overarching theme for me is that population growth as at 2016 or so, last time it was recorded, was 3.2 or so. Yeah. So Nigeria continues to GDP continues to underperform compared to population growth, and that's
a negative.
As long as we're not growing fast enough to meet our population, that's poverty will increase. There's all types of issues. Where is the growth coming from? Where that's always the 60 million naira question. Where is the growth going to come from, Titi?
Well, of course we expect the government to release key policy reforms that would definitely help growth. Lots of houses have been reviewing their growth projections. Projections downwards. We reviewed ours from 2.5% to like 2.2% for the year. Although we still expect the oil sector to perform positively for like the third quarter and the fourth quarter due to a weak base. For Q1 it was reviewed upwards due to the output. Also for the agricultural sector, we expect a modest recovery. We're expecting, as we go into the harvest season particularly, although we still have some issues in that space, we're expecting that the agricultural sector will perform well as well. But overall, I think for the manufacturing and services, we still expect to see weaknesses in that space, and that should be a drag to growth.
Right.
But yes, overall, I think the oil sector should perform better for the third and fourth quarter.
Cool. Another thing I need to point out, with the billions of naira that has been spent in agri, the Bank of Industry, the central bank, the anchor borrowers program, billions upon billions upon billions, yet agricultural contribution to GDP and also its own performance still hasn't done that well. It's up one quarter, it contracts the next quarter. I don't know if we
for interventions to that space, I think we also need to look at what we are spending the funds on, because it has to be more of capital expenditures that can lead to like immediate development in that space, not like recurrent expenditure like paying of salaries and all of that. So we need to be more intentional in the spendings as well, and just look through the value chain to totally revamp the sector. But of course, a lot of work has to go into that space too.
Speaking of capital, like Benga, I don't know, I have to check your question. Benga Kamu sent in a question.
But we also have from Ifeanyi as well on investment.
But while on capital expenditure, Benga was asking what percentage of capital expenditure for the 2018 or is it 2019 budget has been spent this year. I think it's not under 40%. I have to check, Benga. But I think it's definitely not fully implemented, and I hear they've rolled over some of that spending over to next year already. What was Ifeanyi asking?
So Ifeanyi is asking, if when you invest in treasury bills, can you sell off if you need money? Are there consequences?
Ifeanyi, you'll wait. So you have to wait. So you get your interest up front now, right?
Yes, you get your interest up front. Although you could also sell off, but it depends on the prevailing market conditions. So it depends on the rate that the bill is trading at that particular day that you're willing to sell off. So you could make a loss depending on the rate.
On how things are. Okay, cool.
Right. And then Yinka is saying, Rotus, a lot of people listen to you now. I think you need to dedicate a day to talk about the impact of delayed flights on businesses, because the only sure flight is the first flight. I had a crazy one from Abuja yesterday.
Yinka, thank you for that. Yes. And the thing is, one of the things with delayed flights is the lack of compensation from the airlines. I remember in the past flying overseas, when a flight was delayed, I got a voucher to buy food, a voucher for my hotel stay overnight. No, nothing like that here. We don't get Yinka. Sorry, Yinka continues to have bad luck with a number of cases. Had passport issues. He's had flight issues. Yinka, stay strong.
Yinka is the typical. He's the epitome of a Nigerian. So all the issues that we have happens to him. But let's talk. The Blueprint is asking, how do I buy the federal government bond?
Okay, the savings bond. It's still
which is actually open this week. Yes, it's still open and it's closing on Friday. So yes, just contact a stockbroker like Afro Invest would put you through on how to.
Exactly.
It's really easy to buy these instruments actually.
So can we now and then go to Obajimi's question on Twitter?
Yeah.
Obajimi Odewale says today, kindly suggest economic decisions Nigerians can take to hurt South Africa.
Ogbajimi, come on now. Okay, Chinedu, that's a tricky question there. He's asking, I don't know, maybe sanctions, but Chinedu, how do we, let's discuss this. I think that's what we're going to discuss for the rest of the program now. What's been going on with South Africa? There's been some aggression from Nigerians towards South African businesses here. What is your take, sir?
Yeah, first of all, I think it's quite worrisome that we've seen the recent trend in globalization in terms of protectionism ideology beginning to rub off more on African countries. And it's quite ironical that at a time when there has been increased calls for collaboration among African countries in terms of trade through the African Free Trade Agreements, the issue of xenophobic attacks is beginning to resurface, and it's no doubt going to have bearing consequences on the economy if it's not contained properly. But I don't think violence is the way forward. Already we've seen a lot of businesses and shops being looted in South Africa and Nigeria. And Nigerians need to understand that violence is not the way out. These businesses, most of them are franchised in Nigeria, and we only end up hurting ourselves very, very.
So please explain that for people. So those businesses are actually like Shoprites and so on, owned by Nigerians, right?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
So those are businesses that are owned by Nigerians, and when we do that, we are simply displacing. The consequences could lead to displacing Nigerians who are already working in those places, rendering them unemployed, and even leading to a slowdown in economic activities. I mean, when you consider most of the South African businesses that operate in Nigeria, MTN, Shoprite, these are businesses that contribute significantly to our economy in terms of employment, in terms of revenues, in terms of investment. So we really end up hurting ourselves further. I think we need to the two governments, the government of Nigeria and South Africa, need to really come to the table now to discuss about this issue, because this is not the first time it's happening. This is not the second time it's happening.
Right.
So questions need to be addressed. What could be causing people to what could be causing people to react this way, and how can these issues be resolved amicably? First of all, I think when you look at the South African economy, prior to last year when they entered their first technical recession, there's been a slowdown in economic activities in terms of their rising debt profile with ESCOM, and so that's been rubbing off to an extent on the welfare of people living in that country. And it could be that probably the South Africans are trying to link that to the fact that a lot of immigrants are the one causing it. So I think the government needs to come to the table. They need to address the citizens, and also find a way to also resolve this conflict. Because if it escalates further, I'm sorry, there will be significant consequences on the economy in terms of investments, in terms of job opportunities, and in terms of overall growth.
Thank you very much. I see all your messages. We're going to continue this conversation tomorrow, because there's also a fallout from a lot of leaders pulling out of the World Economic Forum that's starting in Cape Town today. We'll continue tomorrow. Titilayo and Chinedu, nice debut. Nice to hear from you on your first time on Business Express of Afri Invest. Thank you both for joining us. We'll continue the conversation tomorrow. All right.
Thank you very much, Rotus, and see you tomorrow morning.
Yes, indeed.
Business Express. Brought to you by
Good stuff. And because of time, I have to talk about GDP and answer yomi